guess. Welcome back to a series of Wonders events. I'm your humble DM Robin, joining us today by Ravani, uh, played by Stefan, as the human sorcerer. Nathan, play as Viking, or as my paladin, and Kat, play as Tolly, our wood elf rogue. So previously, the team uh, was trying to get information out of Frederick Goldfinger, the halfling informant who's kind of dealing information for a living. He revealed a bunch of major secrets, including that the sovereign Blackfeather and two of his daughters were, well, all deceased. And apparently there's some kind of suspicion going on with the death, and that is why the Gemini Festival is postponed. As they were talking, also, he also said he's kind of the ex of Lavinia, which we'll discuss later. Yeah, and as they were talking, the city guards appeared, demanding that they hand over Frederick for his crime of treason against the country. And you guys, well, Viking did most of the talking, but you guys managed to persuade the guards, but not before the shadow came up and like literally stabbed them in the back. And you fought valiantly. However, during the fight, first your magic weapon broke, for Tolly, and you kind of fled due to the unkillable nature of the respawning shadows that taken over control of the automaton and kind of suppressed you guys down. So you have no choice but to follow Frederick's advice and go into the sewers. As you were fleeing into the fled into the sewer, you met a bunch of rat-looking creatures that are humanoid size, like normal humanoid size, demanding you guys to hand over all your belongings. And that is when Viking finally burst and just chuck a javelin at them. So, right now, the javelin is flying in midair where we left off, and I would like everyone to roll for initiative for this time. Frederick is gonna roll for his initiative as well. Alright. Oh, I totally feel you.
Yeah, this just really sets the tone. This is great. I mean, Charlie's having a bad day.
Yeah, like a really terrible one. However, Frederick does get a slightly better. I'll just type F. Yeah, he does get a slightly better initiative count, and alright. So right now will be these dudes' turn. Alright, I'll just type.
Does 20 hit that guy though?
Hold on. Let me finish. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me finish the round. Okay, they rolled a decent one, I guess. Okay. So, the javelin flied in midair and hits the guy in the front. You were aiming
The guy that was talking.
Yeah, this guy.
Straight between the eyes is where I'm
this
aiming.
one. Yeah, so that definitely hits, and you heard the rat-looking creature just yelled and kind of scream in pain as it doubles back. However, you do notice that the javelin didn't penetrate through. Normally, taking a javelin in the head would be like, boom, that's it. That's the end of their lives. But it doesn't seem to affect them. Oh shit, he has disadvantage though. Okay. Alright. That is, what's your dexterity score, Tolly?
My dex by itself is 19.
Okay.
So plus
that
4.
means they'll go behind you. Thank God for the disadvantage though. They did not see this coming, normally people would just hand over their belongings. They were.
I hate this place.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I guess that's why I'm on the bottom because I was ready
Yeah.
to drop my things.
All right. So they this dude kind of screams and yells in pain. Yeah, but as you saw, there's no actual damage that inflicted on this creature. Frederick in the first turn is gonna he is gonna try something. He looks at you, Tolly, and pulls out some tiny he noticed that your hand is not on your weapon. Well, currently your weapon broke, right?
Yeah, all I got are like
so
kitchen knives.
Yeah, so he noticed that you have been holding kitchen knives on both of your hands. So he is gonna reach into his pouch, pulls out a small crystal made handle, and he's gonna say, "Here, catch," and toss this crystal handle towards you. Yeah. Make a dexterity check to see if you can catch it in midair. Alright. It's not a hard toss. You're not that far away, so you manage to fumble with your fingers because you're still holding the kitchen knife. But you somehow manage to grab hold on the crystal. As you grab hold on the crystal, he kind of says something you didn't understand. Does any one of you speak Draconic? Nope. Okay.
Pretty sure I don't know.
Okay.
Nope.
So, he kind of speaks something that sound of ancient, and you see within a split second, the handle kind of sparks. Right now, let's see. All right, Tolly, roll me d2 first. 1d2. Just /roll 1d2. All right, that's nice. All right, now a 1d8. Okay, even better. And right now, roll me a 1d100. Okay, 76. All right, so you see within your grasp, you felt that kind of a far scream inside your mind, and for those who are around you, you see that Tally's cheek, which was once covered with the Black Lotus when she first get in contact with the baton before, which sucks the Black Diamond's essence out, and you see the Black Lotus kind of fades and just kind of dissipate in the air, and you see the crystal sparks. As it sparks, you notice that a kind of shadow-like blade kind of formed from the tip of the handle. Hold on. All right. So
who's holding the shadow blade thing?
Me.
Tolly, currently. So you now weave together threads within your fingers to create this sword of solidified gloom onto the handle. Right now, you have a weapon which deals 2d6 psychic damage and it has finesse, light, and throne property. 2d8, sorry. It's a 2d8. Yeah. You rolled really well, beyond my expectation. Alright, so for now, you guys are kind of in awe as she like lifts this lightsaber-ish weapon, just holds it in her hand. However, in the meantime, Raveni, you do notice that Bright Eyes kind of shifts. It was kind of in a hardened state as the shadows all poured out from the broken baton, and like Bright Eye seems to also drain some of the essence into it. Roll me a 1d100, Raveni.
Oh. That's right. I'm just sort of going. Hell, Telly, how did you do that?
I don't know.
Alright, 38. Alright. Then roll me a 1d4.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh. That is really nice. Okay. You see Bright Eye shift. And roll me a 1d20.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. 5. That means times 2. That means 10. Okay. So. Bright Eye kind of shifts. For brief seconds, you think that the connection is kind of wonky between you two, but then it's solidified once again. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. All right. You see it solidify and kind of turns into a hard, also shadow formed structure. Now.
Nice. Alright.
Yeah. It is. Sorry. Hold on. It has its length darkly indecent and at times transparent. So you now have a quarterstaff in your grasp. Bright Eyes just turned itself into a quarterstaff. For its actual property, you'll need to find out later. But for now, yeah, you kind of notice that Bright Eyes is gently guiding you how to use this quarterstaff. You know the basics from what Bright Eye tells you, so it's now a +1 quarterstaff with magic imbued to it. And when while you're holding it, you get a +1 to AC, spell save DC, and spell attack rolls.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, for further details, you'll have to find out later. But for now, yeah, that's about it. All right.
So just looking at this thing, I have no idea what's going on. I just what the heck's happening?
However, both of you do heard a voice from afar. Viking, you note this voice. As a matter of fact, it's been haunting you all this time. You both heard a voice screaming, yelling in pain, saying, "I curse all of you. You'll pay for what you've done. You'll all pay." And the sound dies down. Yep. for Viking?
I ignore it. I just
Yeah.
assume that I'm the only one hearing it.
Yeah, you just assume, like always, you've been hearing this whole time. Like, it's just another of your hallucination, probably. But Tolly and Riveni, you both heard it. And this is probably the first time you've heard it. But if you can sense the dread in this tone of how much madness and desperation it comes out of. Yeah. So Frederick kind of just looks at you and says, "Alright, and he turns around towards he kind of looks at you, Tola, in a satisfaction. He didn't expect Riveni's like to have an like weird looking staff, but he does look at you, Tola, with a satisfaction in his face and just says, "Well, feel free to try on our friends. Feel free to try your new weapons on our friends." And he is gonna make an attack roll. Well, sadly, he was a little bit too focused on his accomplishment and kind of missed the rat-looking folk by an inch with his whip, like, slash in midair. And he's like, fair enough. And he kind of dodges back in behind the crates. Now it'll be Viking's turn. Viking, go ahead. It's your turn.
I'm gonna follow it up like my whatchamacallit? My spear.
Semi-CFA? Yeah.
No, javelin. I'm gonna rush forward to him
Okay.
and quickly, make 2 stabs with semi-sealed feet.
Okay.
There it
Go
is.
ahead.
20.
That's definitely a hit. Roll for damage.
10 points.
Alright, so you see right now, even though the creature seems to have some sort of resistance to normal weaponry. Sorry. However, Semi-Seal Fate's mighty power does like cut through all the resistance and deals a gigantic slash wounds on his chest. Right.
And because I forgot, I slashed him once. I hit him prone
All right.
with my shield, and then I'm gonna hit him again with my
Alright.
sword.
So he is gonna try to make a counter athletics check. Alright, hold on. Show me where you are. Okay. Counter athletics. Alright, just. Oh. He. Well, what's your strength?
It's 16, so +3.
All right. So, you two contested for a while, as he's scratching your, well, partially like scraped shield. You notice that, he kind of scratched out something. You see like the symbol you once thought were scraped. It seems to be just covered by something that is kind of invisible, and it through its invisibility kind of blocks the sigils that were branded on your shield. So that's why you think that's why you can't see the sigils on top of it. And yeah, you two kind of struggle for a while until eventually your strength trumps his, and like kind of you do a little trick maneuver and kind of trick him to put his strength into the wrong side and smack it with your shield into his face. He is now prone, and yeah, do a second attack. Right, that definitely hits.
Another 9 points of
Alright.
slashing damage.
yeah, you stab down as the creature was prone onto the ground. It kind of screams in pain, but doesn't seem to help. That will be the end of your turn, I guess.
Yep, that's mine.
All right. Now will be Rivani's turn. Rivani, what would you like to do?
Alright. Are there any of the were rats that are undamaged right now?
Well, all three of them are. Well, only one of them is damaged currently. The other three are not.
I'm actually going to cast suggestion on this were rat right here.
Okay, go ahead. Roll for suggestion check.
Yeah, it's
Oh, sorry. They need to roll. Sorry, my bad. I think it's wisdom or charisma. Hold on, let me check. Suggestion. Suggestion. I think it is wisdom. Yeah. Target must make a wisdom saving throw. All right. What's your spell save DC?
so you're saying that the staff I have increases my save DC by 1, right?
Yes.
The total would be 16.
All right. He definitely fails. You see, you reach out with your palm and like point it directly. Well, you reach out with your staff and point at it directly. You see the like kind of shadowy essence kind of pours out from the staff and like aim directly at it. All of you see like kind of a almost smoke-like cloud kind of surrounds the creature's head, and it kind of seeps into its ears, and with a dark glow of like pure darkness in its eyes, you know that you are now in control of it. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I sort of just say to it through suggestion like you don't want to kill us. You want to go home and rethink your life.
All right. So with that, the creature kind of nods and says, "I want to go home and rethink my life. Yes, going home. I'm going home." And you see, the were-rat kind of turns. It kind of shifts back into a skinny, almost bony human being, male, probably about his 20 or something. You think, yeah, this guy has been starved for probably a really long time, and he just like kind of lump and walks deep into the sewers. And yeah, that will be your turn. Is that all?
Something like that. Yeah, I'll just sort of stay put, and I sort of turn to Talia, sort of give her a tentative thumbs up.
Okay.
I just grin in response. I am delighted.
All right. So.
Let her take it from here.
Yeah. All right. So that will be the end of your turn. Now will be Tully's turn. Tully, the were-rat is like kind of moving away at this point. What would you like to do? The other guy is still prone on the ground.
Okay, so I'm gonna grin at Frederick before I go, and then run up beside Vakeen and stab the one that's undamaged.
Okay.
You would know that prone. This guy is prone.
He's still prone? Okay, wait, then yeah, then he's first.
Yeah. Alright. Sadly, the first stab is...
Advantage? Because of prone?
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Let's see. Hold on. Yep. You definitely stab him. Sorry. My bad. So
That's okay.
yeah, the blade at first you're still a little bit wonky at wielding it, so you're not entirely certain how to thirst to get a proper range. But his prone position definitely helps, so you just know, oh, I just stab downwards. That's it. So yeah, roll for damage. Yeah. All right. The blade sinks into his body, kind of. You see the shadowy essence kind of drained most of his life, forming a kind of a stronger, more solidified gloom. And as you pulled out your blade, his body just kind of in a drained state. Like his skins are dry, his like almost no weight at all, and like his whole body kind of feels like an empty skin. That's it. He's now gone. Alright. You still have your bonus action. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna disengage and back it the hell up.
Okay, so you disengage and move backwards. Alright. That'll be the end of your turn, I believe. Now Were-Rat's turn. This dude is gonna just like keeps on talking, going home. I'm finally going home, and he's gone. Boom. Disappear in the sewers. Alright, the other creature, he's gonna look at you, look at Viking, look at you guys, look at his dead comrades' corpses. Alright. Yeah, he's definitely gonna panic. He's like, alright, that's it, I'm done, don't kill me! And he just runs away. Yeah, just Viking, if you would want to, you can go for an opportunity attack if you like.
Oh yeah,
All
definitely.
Roll for attack. All right, that definitely hits. Roll for damage. All right. So you kind of, as it turns around, a gigantic tail is like on its back. You caught the window of opportunity and cuts off a tip of its tail, as it still managed to run off into the distance. All right. It just used all of its action and its movement, just disappear into the shadows. Alright, this dude is gonna try. Yeah, let's see. Oh, he is actually gonna man up and just runs in a slow opposite direction. But he's not out of sight. That'll be the end of his turn. He's still within your sight, and yeah, that's about it. It's kind of weird though. What would you like to do? Oh, sorry, it's Frederick's turn.
Yeah, it's Frederick.
Is gonna look around and look at the rats, and he's gonna say, "Be careful. Those things can be, well, kind of devious at times, and watch where you step." He's gonna move forward and try to use the whip to lash onto the creature. Come on. Oh, both fives? Seriously. Alright, so he's a little bit too cautious, and the were-rats managed to dodge both of his attacks. Yeah, that'll be the end of his turn. Now it'll be Viking's turn. Viking, what would you like to do?
I take his advice. I'm gonna walk first off here. Weird. Hold on. There's no lock to grid on this.
Yeah, there's no lock. Just
I'll walk where the other ones were.
Okay.
First, and then I'll go over to here, and then I'm going to knock him prone.
Okay. Do it. All right.
Or not. 7.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's a nat 1, so don't bother rolling.
Yeah. Nope.
So then
yeah, You would like to attack, I guess?
Yeah, I'll attack.
Alright. Go for your attack.
I am. You know what? I'm going to do something else. I am. Because these guys are little shitheads, I am going to do that.
Oh.
And I'm I think I can upcast that. Yeah, I'm going to upcast that because I only have one level 2 spell slot available.
Do it.
So I get an extra 1d10. Oh, that's why. There we go. 20 points of damage.
Alright, that little shithead was trying to get away, but with your first swing missed by the shield, it kind of turns around and kind of grins at you, kind of mock at your failure. But you manage to slap its face with the other side of shield and kind of burns a gigantic wound on its cheek. It kind of screams in pain, like kind of like someone who's been put on a grill, and just like, yeah, it's painful, it's nasty, and yeah, he's definitely not gonna mock you again. Alright, is that all? That will be the end of your turn?
Yeah, I can't do anything else.
Alright.
I'm done.
That will be the end of your turn. Ruveni, it's your turn now. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna move up this way and sort of conserve my resources and throw like regular fire bolts at this guy.
Go ahead. Alright, that's definitely a hit. Roll for damage.
Oh,
Alright. So you kind of feels this empowerness when you hold the staff. You stomp the staff to the ground, and it kind of shoots out a bolt of combined shadowy flame that like kind of attaches out, wrap around the were-rat as he squeaks and screams and burns it into crisps. And it's now dead. Yeah. So yeah, you're right now up in the initiative order. You can tell the creature was trying to do something before, but never really get the chance to do it. And yeah, that's it. So, yeah, go ahead.
I am going to take my sword and ram it through its heart.
Okay. Right. So you just ram it through its crispy heart.
Yeah, to both of them, because I know these are were beasts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're pretty resilient.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that might be best. Double tap them.
Okay, so you stab through each of their bodies. Yeah. Managed to make. You're just making sure they're dead. So yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Toast. Yep. All right. So what would you guys like to do at this point?
And then I want to pat down the leader that was talking.
Okay. You pat down the leader. What about you, Rennie? What would you like to do?
Yeah, I sort of just like inspecting this new that came from my homunculus, and I'm sort of just speaking out loud, like, so these weird shadow weapons just came from? Because I'm kind of drawing a blank on that.
Are you asking or just speaking your mind?
A little of both, I guess.
Alright. If you want to find out, roll me an Arcana check with advantage because you've been with Bright Eyes for a while. You've been attuned to it, so yeah. Alright. You don't need any advantage. Right, so yeah, for the Arcana check, you think that it's a result from definitely Tolly's broken baton. It must have contained some sort of shadowy essence that Bright Eyes absorbed, and it might activate some sort of a different formula that's innate, unknown to you, that was originally built in to Bright Eyes, and that's probably why it's turning into a shadowy staff right now. For Tolly, you think it's the same deal. It's just Frederick's crystal kind of let Tolly channel it in a different way.
I sort of relate that to Italian and Viking sort of. Yeah.
All right.
This must have had something to do with the baton.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad at least some good came of it, because, man, that was bad.
Yeah. Furthermore, Vanny, you do think that before Tolly was like holding the baton, there are some sort of foreign essence resides in there, and that is why she might be acting weird at times in battles, and it might be sucking her soul to recover at times. Yeah. Prolonged exposure might result in weird situations, so you're just feeling lucky that it seems to like disappear at this moment.
Well, I guess it's probably for the best that the baton's gone. At least you won't have to worry about it doing.
Agreed. I'm sorry to lose something Homura made, but it was bad sometimes.
I'll sort of turn to Frederick, and I'll ask him, Silver, where are we supposed to go now?
Well, after your fan finished patting down the creature, well, I'll lead the way. So for Viking, as you pat down the were-rats, you found a few pieces of silver, about like 10 or 20 or so. Roll me a 1d2. Yeah, you found 10 silver pieces. That's it. The creatures itself doesn't even have a weapon.
I'm like,
Yeah.
These guys are useless when it comes to robbing people, I guess.
Yeah.
And I recover my javelin.
Yeah. So your javelin is still lying. Yeah, you retrieved the javelin that was lying inside the sewer stream. Yeah. The creatures, they don't have anything else worth of value, basically. So yeah.
Yeah, but they'll think twice next time they try to
They are
strong arm people.
Yeah. In their
The
afterlife.
the
maybe.
survivors.
The survivors, maybe. Yeah. All right. So, Frederick kind of looks at you, and just he walks towards the corner where you guys came from, and he listens. He listens for a while, and then he says, I think, yeah, we better avoid the entrance we came from. But all right, I guess I'll take the lead. Let's go to a different path. I'm not sure if it's safer, but at least for now, we don't have to face those automatons, which is nice. Yeah. So he kind of leads you guys forward. All right.
I'll walk with him and give him advantage if needed. Help him out.
Okay. So you notice that he was checking the corners. He's been very careful since the were rat kind of talked about. Well, not talked, but kind of act, and he's been carefully searching the traps. So, are you helping him with the traps?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, along the side, you do manage to find a few spikes that were, well, let's just say hanging in the ceiling, and there are some small trip wires that, well, if passed through without notice, you'll get punctured. Yeah, but beyond that, you don't think those creatures are too wise to make any trap that are very subtle. Roll me a investigation check though. Okay. Since you two, okay. Some notes, Frederick is actually guiding you on how to properly investigate. You two kind of collaborate, so yeah, it's about 18. So you managed to find one trap that is really sneaky. It's been hiding beside one of the pipelines, and when people walk through, because the tunnel is really narrow, they will have to face forward to the pipeline, and that is when there will be a regular release of kind of a poisonous smoke of sort, and that will numb your senses and make you stunned for, well, a prolonged time. However, Frederick kind of points you to the right direction. You kind of manage to avoid that. Yeah, and he kind of says, yeah, some traps are made out of, well, routines, and some are made out of the natural condition. So yeah, be sure to check them before you move forward. Yeah. And yeah, you finally came across this intersection, which you guys move forward. Yep. Hold on. Let's see. View area. Okay. You continue to move forward. I would like everyone to roll me a perception check. I mean, everyone. Yep. Frederick is gonna make his because he's been focusing on
25.
Alright. Everyone's been
20.
doing great. Riveni, as you move forward, the intersection looks weird. Because there's a larger amount of water in the stream. Larger than normal. It's like a small kind of a flow in the middle of a small stream. Like the water just kind of unnaturally like joins together in a certain small amount of area. Yeah. Do you share the information or?
Well, yeah, I sort of stopped them to sort of point that out.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not.
Okay, go ahead.
Or what? I'm not entirely sure what the significance of it is.
Okay. So, Frederick kind of looks at you and then go on to carefully inspect that. Yeah. And he's just like, okay, let's just avoid that. I don't know what it is either, but let's just avoid that. And yeah, that is a really good roll actually. So, you guys managed to avoid that area and move forward, and eventually, you move downwards, forward. All right. Let's see. View. All right. whoops, sorry. You now gathered at the end of this side of the tunnel, and alright. So you've finally reached the end of the tunnel, sort of. You are staring down at some sort of a gateway, kind of like an arc inside of a small inside the sewer, and it kind of leads to a deeper end. You don't know, you can't really see inside. You can't really tell what's inside of it. I would like everyone to roll for perception as well this time. Alright, ouch. Alright, so for Tali and Ravani, you two were inspecting the area, but you kind of put your focus a little bit too much on that puddle of water before, and you kind of just walk straight inside. Viking, as you watch in kind of, well, horror, the gateway kind of turns into a munching creature, just kind of bites down on both of them. What's both of your AC? Yeah.
15.
Alright, let's see.
Could I use my reaction, because I have that thing to pose disadvantage?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
As Shield Master.
Yeah. So you've been paying attention, and you kind of know the danger in the sewer. So yeah, you managed to bash it in its jaw, trying to divert its attention. Hold on, let's see. All right.
Still active, by the way.
What?
Is my mage armor still active, by the way?
Your mage armor. How long does it last, though? Let me check.
Isn't it like 8 hours?
Then it definitely does. Yes, it definitely does.
Yeah. So in that case, my AC is also 15.
Okay. So with your staff, that means 16. Okay. Disadvantage on the roll. Yeah, it's great. It wasn't doing that great. It was having an advantage because you guys are not paying attention, but Viking's timely rescue kind of negates that, and you see that in a split of seconds, the doorway just turned into a maw and kind of maws down on you, and Viking just bash it aside. Yeah. Roll for initiative. Alright. There'll be a... Okay. Alright. So, Ravani, what would you like to do?
20. Huh.
The first. Go ahead.
I sort of just shriek and frighten a bit as this gate turns into like a moving mouth or something like that, and I'm just sort of throw a lightning bolt at it.
Okay, go ahead.
I think you need to reveal some more of the map or something. We're just at a black square, and
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me.
it ends right there.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. Yeah. That is the archway, so that's the end of the stuff. But I'm gonna move the. Hold on. Let me just grab the stuff. Okay. Ooh, this dude is nasty. Hold on. Okay. Where's my token? Weird. Alright, I am gonna quickly find another one. Okay. Whew. Okay, here it is. That is weird. Right, so, for Vania, yeah. The lightning kind of arcs through the hallway. It has to make a dexterity save, right?
Yep.
Alright. Perfect. Alright, it definitely fails. So you see the lightning kind of wraps around the creature, the creature mimic kind of screams in pain as the lightning kind of breaks down part of its cover, revealing a little bit more than meets the eye. Alright. That'll be the end of your turn, I guess?
I sort of shouted like, don't scare us like that. These aren't supposed to do that, you know?
Alright, so that'll be the end of your turn. Now will be Viking's turn. Viking, go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay. I'm going to come up here. And I don't know how well this is gonna go, but I'm gonna try and bash it with my shield. It's a bonus action.
Okay.
I don't know if I can knock it prone. I don't know, maybe shut the lid or something.
Okay.
Nope.
So you bash it with your shield. The mimic just kind of uses tongue to slap your shield out of the way. Seems to have no effect. Yep. So you should attack or
yeah, I'll stab it twice.
okay, go ahead.
There's one,
Alright.
there's two.
That's definitely both of them hits.
Both hit.
actually. Yep.
6 and so 17 points of damage.
17, nice. 36. Okay, nice. So you smack it like left and right. Its gigantic size kind of makes it easier for you to hit. So yeah, that will be the end of your turn, I guess.
I'm gonna move down here as well. Just kind of still sliding around, looking for a better vantage point.
Okay. That'll be the end of your turn. Now will be Tali's turn. Tali, this creature almost gives you a heart attack. What would you like to do?
Yell a little bit and back up.
Okay.
I'm gonna go like opposite Viking, so we're flanking.
Okay. I would say, yeah, that's sort of... Alright, go ahead. That sort of counts as advantage, I would say, flanking. So yeah, roll for attack with advantage. Nice, a crit. Alright, roll for damage.
Goodbye,
nice. Alright. You, with a sheer panic and kind of frightened state, you manage to stab through the creature and chop it down into pieces. Like, just manically just chop it. Like, you. Yeah, and the creature just turns into a pile of stones, some partially rocks, and a pile of dust. Yep. That's it.
Warn us next time, please.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, especially in the sewer. Frederick kind of nods at you, and kind of looks around and just says, "Well, that was quite some thing. I didn't expect to have it here. But I think we are at the right place."
You're telling me.
Yeah. But I think we are at the right place. And he walks forward to the archway. Right now, you see that as the mimic was dead, you're out of initiative order. You see better now. It's not even an archway. It's just a mimic just posed at the end of this tunnel and makes it look like it's an archway. However, right now you're just staring at a dead end, with a bunch, like a pile of cargo luggage just stacked on the wall. And yeah, you don't see anything special. However, Frederick walks forward, kind of looks around, occasionally tapping on the side of the rocks, and some bricks maybe kick off some partial of the crates, and eventually you think he kind of managed to hit a sequence. The wall kind of silently slides open, revealing the real entrance inside the back. Yeah. And hold on. Alright. So, you are now staring down a small piece of tunnel that leads deeply inside.
God, I hate this place.
Yep. Alright. Okay. Hold on. Let's just copy and
I sort of asked like,
Alright.
How'd you know where to find that?
Well,
Or?
the area is kind of something you will want to know, especially when you're in a dealing like mine. I made
And
business.
what kind of dealing is that?
Yeah, I made business with the Jasper spawns, and that is also why they kindly gave me the location. Alright, so let me check if anyone's around. You notice that he kind of knocks on the side of the hallway that leads deeper inside. For brief seconds, nothing seems to happen. And he kind of, Frederick was always, kind of like he knows everything, every detail, every nook and cranny inside of the city. But for the first time, he seems to be kind of wondering what is happening, because there's no sign of anyone that's reaching out for him. And as he's about to walk directly inside, you all heard a voice just says, "Stop right there. Is that you, Frederick?" Frederick kind of rolled his eyes and says, "Yes, it's me. You know me. I've been here so many times. Why do we have to pull this every time I got here?" The voice just says, "Because it's fun. It's fun to watch you squirm a little bit." Frederick just kind of sighs, and Frederick just continues and says, "Well, we're not here for party. We're here in search for shelter, and you know I always deliver on my end. So yeah, maybe it's time for me to collect the favors that you owed me." The voice kind of there's a silence in the air, and then eventually the voice just says, "All right, if you can vouch for them, then yes. But remember, they are on your watch. Anything happens, it's on you." Frederick kind of nods, and you guys just walks in. Alright, now, just review. So you guys walked in, into a bigger hallway. Actually, a lot bigger hallway. Hold on. Where you see, not so many people gathering around. In fact, there's only two of them. One is a small, familiar-looking deep gnome that was sitting around the table and having a conversation face to face with a person who's, well, wearing a red hood and covered in like robes and armor, and the most distinguishing feature is probably the mask he's been wearing on his face. Well, his or her, you can't really tell, but you can see that on his belt he also carries two other masks, but this one has an anger-looking kind of features on his face. He looks probably like this. Yeah, he's wearing this mask, and you can hear them talking, having conversations, and yeah. And then the deep gnome looks around and turns towards you, and just at the first glance he kind of just sighs and kind of says, "Well, if it isn't you guys." And you guys notice that he is Vor, the one's annoying deep gnome that sprinkles you and says, "Oh, you are one of the royalty families," and just kind of dumps a lot of information onto you and just leave abruptly. Yeah. What would you guys like to do at this moment?
I sort of go like, we've seen it before, right? Where was it we saw you before?
Well, a lot of places. The Dragon's Lair, with Bree. After you guys found the mark, well, him carrying the mark. Yep.
Oh yeah, you're Bree's friend, Flora.
Yeah.
But what are you doing all the way out here? And
what are you talking about? This is my city. I came from this place. What are you talking about? What are you guys doing here?
You seem to know so much already. Why don't you tell us?
Nice.
I'm attacking.
All right. So.
And who's your friend in the mask over there?
Yeah, as you guys are asking questions, a blade just shunk, flying right towards Vor. Vor just with a brief moment he doesn't seem to grasp the reality, and then immediately he just dodge and roll out of the way. It's like, what the actual fuck? And he just like nimbly dodge around the blade, and it's like, what is wrong with you? You can hear at the background multiple blades being drawn. For Tolly, you know this voice especially well. These are the sound that daggers being drawn out of their sheath, and yeah, usually this means they're ready to
we're about to have a bar fight,
Yep.
and it's gonna end real bad because
Yeah.
these guys are good.
Vor just looks at Viking and just says, "What have I ever done to you?"
Yeah. Let's talk about that. You and the fucking Bree, branding me, with the tracking spell, myself and Tully. Ring any bells? I swore I would have your head for that act.
You wouldn't really fall for that, would you? I mean, those are just fairy dust. It's just a way of
No.
saying, "Oh, I can always track you, so please don't go too far."
You even had Bree bound magically, so she, even under threat of death, wouldn't talk about it.
Well, it's not my fault. It's like we both signed a contract. I don't have any other way, well, to fulfill the contract than doing so. I mean, you found your way here. It's not my doings. You guys found your way here by yourself. I didn't contribute it at all.
Yeah, you just caused grief in our lives.
Cause grief? What are you talking about?
Not just our lives either. We've got a friend who's not a big fan of yours.
Yeah.
Who?
If it wasn't for 9 being of such assistance.
His face turned pale when you mentioned the word 9. It's like
I'd be like, you'd be dead already.
it's like blood's been drained out of his face when you mentioned 9, and he just says, "All right, let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about this. He's not here, right? I mean, it's not like I would want to create him. Well, I do want to create him. It's always fascinating to create an Etherborn, to just see how they manifest within the power. But that's beyond the point. I mean,
Wait, you're the one who created 9?
well, he kind of just kind of nods in his head, kind of like, yeah, kind of trying not to be proud of it because you guys are holding him down on a sword. But he's like, you can tell he's been really proud of his own work, and he's just like, well, but they are born with flaw. I mean, it's not my fault. The schematics are not perfected yet at that time. Well,
Yeah,
I
that's
tell.
definitely a good thing. Nice to hear for you.
Yeah, he was created with flaws only because his creator was weak and an idiot.
huh. You heard nothing but silence. And then for a brief second, Tully, you heard a blade dropped onto the ground. It's like, ting, 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 ting. You can tell that the man with the mask that's sitting on the other side of the table at first is also paused, and then you hear this low, almost growling like laughter coming from the masked man. Masked figure. And he's just like, oh, Vor. Never in my life I would imagine that one day you'll be called an idiot. And dumb idiot. This just made my entire night. And he just continues on laughing. Vor just kind of looking at, kind of take a glance at the masked figure, and just like kind of grinning his teeth at like, oh, I do dare you to say that again in my face. He turns around to Viking, actually.
I'm like, you were nothing but a coward, a absolute. I'm trying to think of other words for idiot.
Okay, moron.
I do have the headband. So I'm like, you were nothing but a cowardly, no good, useless moron that tried to manipulate people around you to do your bidding. But at the end of the day, you're just a weak little, I don't know, pale,
tiny man.
Child, not even a man.
All right.
Man-child. I'll call him man-child.
You kind of, it's not a really charismatic speech. You kind of, in search for a word, you are so angry you kind of lost track of your own words. So it doesn't sound as threatening as you would hope, but the message does deliver, and Vor kind of make an like fury glance at all of you and just says, "All right, I believe our deal is done here. All of you are never gonna be welcomed in any of our stores ever again. Any." And he just looks at Jester. He just looks at the masked man and just said, "Well, Jester."
I look at the others. I'm like, this place is a shithole. We have good money and nobody wants it. So what's the point in? Oh no, we can't. We're not allowed in the stores. The last time we went to a store, we tried to get a dagger for 1,000 gold. So you know what? Keep your stupid freaking merchandise and quit wasting our time.
If we're here, Vor, do you really think the most important thing to us is shopping right now? Do we even have time to do that?
Yeah. So the masked man who you heard Vor called Jester, just kind of sits up on his place and just says, "Well, this area is definitely a shithole. I would admit that, even if I live here. But Vor, you know the rules. We don't tolerate aggressive behaviors." And he looks down at Vor's hand. You guys follow the glance. You guys notice that Vor's been holding on his belt. Something on his belt. Yeah. Jester continues and says, "Just leave now. I don't care what you guys have before. I just want to know, first, Frederick, why do you bring them here? Why?" Frederick just kind of leaps forward and just says, "Well, like I said to your minions before, we're being chased. We're under attack. We in urgent need for shelter. That is why I came to you. Remember the last job I worked for you? So, like I said, I'm here to collect. Just let us sleep for the night, and we'll be gone by the morning. You won't even know we were here." Jester kind of thinks on it, just looks at Vor, just says, "Alright, but he also requested to stay in my place for the time being. And I can't tolerate anyone who mess around in my compound. How about this? You can take different rooms, but if any one of you like have a tendency to wander around in the night, my people will, well, let's just say put you down on sight. Are we clear? He looks at you guys, especially you, Viking.
I'm gonna say, Madam Phantom. I'm guessing. I presume, because I've been told their name from, I don't know, somewhere. I have it in my notes. You will not have any problems with us as long as this thing, and I point to Vor, stays away from us.
Well, I've been called by many names. For now, I prefer Jester, for this country has lack of many rules. But yeah, I would say, okay, yeah, just if you are gonna kill each other, do it outside.
I respect that, and I wouldn't want to sully your place of whatever this is, hideout.
Yeah.
I sort of step forward too, sort of saying, "Well, I'm sure you don't really have a reason to trust us. Since we kind of just burst in here, but I promise you, we won't cause any."
Are you sorry, Stefan? Did you say something because you were cut off at the end? No.
I was just saying, like, well, I guess you don't have much reason to trust us since we just kind of barged in here, but I promise we won't cause any trouble for you.
Well,
I promise I won't cause any trouble for you if that's your rule.
That is my rule. We've been hiding here for a reason, and though I do trust Frederick, I don't want anyone or anything to track us back down here. That means everyone follows the rules. We stay down, we stay quiet, we lay low. And yeah, if you guys can listen to reasons, then you have my permission to spend here for the night. Stay here for the night. Yeah. And he or she, can't really tell, kind of snap, well, I'll just call it snap its fingers, and you notice that on the side of the walls, like, kind of reveals like several like smaller doorways that leads inside to a, well, sort of like makeshift room with beds. They're just small holes in the walls you can walk through, and it just says, "Go ahead." Frederick kind of nods to you guys and just leads you guys to a small room where there's like separate beds and stuff like that. On the corner of your eyes, you also see Vor just kind of walks to the opposite direction. Jester is gonna sit inside the hallway, just doing mostly nothing. Alright, so what are you guys doing right now?
Well, since I'm just relaxed at this point, I'm be lying in one of the beds, sort of doing some doing a little work on some sketch some sketches on my sort of notebook.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And since I know that sort of Talia lost her
Mm-hmm.
friends, sort of sketching like ideas for like I'm sort of been sort of starting to like sort of form this sort of try and commission somebody to make a new set of weapons for her. So I basically been sort of
Okay. You were sorting through your notes, trying to draw out a sort of like a diagram and kind of samples for weapons you want to craft for her.
sort of yeah
Alright.
sort of forget what it is to whisper on this thing again.
/W space name, or if you want to just do the GM, you can do GM space. It'll try and
Right.
auto fill. And the W cannot be capital; it has to be lowercase.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Sort of keeping that stuff to my. She's sort of keeping that stuff to herself right now because she wants it to be a surprise.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright.
She's sort of just sort of listening to whatever everyone else is doing.
Alright. Yeah. What about you guys? What about everyone else? What are you guys doing?
I'm going to top myself off, healing wise, and then I'm gonna crash.
Okay. So it is quite unusual for Viking to be, well, rather quiet during the moment which no one else is here. What seems like it. But still, Viking just kind of silently heals himself and goes to sleep. What about you, Tali? What are you doing?
Preparing to be murdered in my sleep, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to stay up and take watch. I'm actually pretty fine. And I'm going to talk to Frederick. I'm just going to this Jester character, how well do you know them? How'd you meet them?
Well, Jester is an old pal of mine. He or she, I can't, till this day, I can't really tell if it's a he or she. But whoever is under that mask has been a loyal servant to the sovereigns. You know how the old tales always describes the jesters, that with his mockery and playful choice of words kind of reveals the urgent information, or hidden kind of warnings inside his jovial plays. That was what Jester once. However, he hasn't been like that for a long time. The Sovereign kind of alienated him and has become more and more, well, let's just say, dictated.
Why? What happened? What changed?
He never tells anyone, but according to a maid whom I know was Lavinia's friend. No, seriously, girl. It's Lavinia's friend. I have nothing to do with her. So, yeah. Alright, fine, you caught me. Yeah. We slept once or twice. But anyway, she says that apparently Sovereign Solaris, well, sorry, and he went on to a journey before he kind of takes on ruling the empire alongside Blackfeather. He went on to a journey to a place called Farum, and as he returns, he brings no one back but a flock of golden hair and some portrait of sort of a woman, whom the name was never revealed. He never really got married, unlike Blackfeather. Yeah. It's just at nights you would hear him whispered about like sleeping and talking in his dreams, about a mother and a woman he left behind. We never really quite get who her name was, but it might be something really important.
What about her
Someone
description? What did she look like? What was she?
Okay. Viking? What would she look like? Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? I'm half asleep,
Alright.
according to my character, so I wasn't paying attention.
All right. Then I'll just describe it. Apparently she's not really that beautiful. That not even by normal standards, but she has this smile of natural charmingness that would like put someone under their feet just by the look. She's not like pretty in a normal sense, but she does have this sort of tamed nature that would kind of inflict on people that are around her and like lightens up the mood around for the people around her. And yeah, you by the description you can feel this kind of lively, kind of free of any burden kind of girl that appears in your mind. Frederick goes on and says, ever since that day he returned, he's never the same again. Yeah, that is why Jester here was trying to bring him back with his normal stories and plays, trying to lift the mood. However, one day the sovereign just have an outrage of sort and just kind of toss Jester out of his palace and out of the city, actually.
Out of the city?
Yeah, it took Jester a really long time to return, and everything was different at the time. There's more. Well, for one, the Iron Forge thugs came in. Yeah, Tyrone wasn't here like about 5 or 6 years ago. No, he was here like afterwards, and he quickly takes over the lower part of the common ground, and also granted himself a seat in the Silver Council. Yeah, and with Sovereign Solaris kind of dictatorship kind of goes on, Sovereign Blackfeather also kind of got pushed away. They were comrades in battles, but when it comes to ruling a country, its powers are not for share. Let's just put it that way. And that is why they kind of separate. That is why Sovereign Blackfeather built the Court of Serenity. It's because they used to share the same palace. They used to rule together. But yeah, now they just drifted apart.
That's so sad.
Yeah. Well, power changes people, I would say.
It corrupts more often than not.
Yeah. So, well, old Jester here just desperately trying to, well, I would just say get back to the Sovereign's good grace. However, he did find something out, and as Frederick mentioned that part, you all heard a voice just says, "Frederick, not a single more word. Not one bit more." And Frederick just kind of, all right, your place, you're the boss. I'll just, I'll just keep it quiet. Well,
In my sleep,
yeah,
I say, "I'm gonna kill you, Bree. You're fucking.
yeah.
You're dead."
Who is this Bree he's been talking about? Were they a couple or something?
Oh
This
God,
is,
no.
like, so much hatred coming from, you know, me and Lavinia, we part ways in a really rough terms. So yeah, but you know,
Sir, from behind my sort of notebook, I sort of from behind my notebook, I sort of say like, sort of answer like, oh, actually, she was a halfling, who ended up like, I think she ended up sort of traveling sort of for a time,
mm-hmm.
but she was also kind of involved with that stuff with war too.
Okay. Oh, right. And quick.
And I got along. She and I got along pretty well, I think, though.
Okay, that is.
Her, she left me with her pendant before she left, but
And you. So do you show him the pen?
uh, I'll sort of take out the pendant I've been holding on to for the past for a long while now, and I sort of on my hand for him to see.
Okay. He takes the pendant closer. From. Well, he reached out his hand and says, "May I?" Before he takes the pendant.
Sure, I guess.
He gently lifts the pendant and takes a careful looks about it and just says, "You sure? Okay. This is interesting." So she appears to be a halfling, right? She looks like a halfling, walks and talks like a halfling. No sign of different behavior. Sometimes maybe empowering behavior.
She's pretty sure she was a halfling the last time we ever saw her.
Huh.
Tally's not saying anything, but she's looking suspicious.
Yeah. Frederick just kind of looks at both of you and says, "You guys are the luckiest bunch I've ever met. This
Hey?
is a pendant from a rare branch of dragon called the Song Dragons. This pendant right here is actually part of its scale. was made of particle scale. They are a really rare brand. They love to travel with people to enjoy their company. If they met in the, well, let's just say good alignments people. Yeah.
I sort of just stand. I sort of just like stand up. It's sort of like just sort of rigid, standing up straight as I'm trying to figure out if he means what I actually think. What I actually think he means. I sort of just go like, no freaking way.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe it myself. This is extremely rare because song dragons, they don't reside in most of the worlds nowadays. Well, they are a smaller branch of the, well, good alignment dragons, which also known as the metallic dragons. And why I say this is rare is because this scale, judging by the look of it, it's like a younger song dragons, which means they are, well, they have more tendency to, if they align with someone, they will sign a, well, kind of like a pact, kind of like a mutual benefiting pact with someone. It's the process is not done, but if you ever meet this dragon again, well, who knows? He kind of
Oh my
returns
god, we were
the
hanging out with the
to-
dragon.
Yeah.
I just sort of like holding my head in my hands as my mind is sort of blown
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Alright. So, and then he started to describe the dragon. So they kind of resembles. So he kind of talks in details about the song dragons. They kind of resembles the copper dragons in general shape, but they were more slender and possess incandescent silver blue scales. This made them bright and impressive in appearance, and they tend to, like Frederick said before, is like live, not live among humankind, but traveling with their target of interest, and they make it sort of their tendency to take care of the humans as, and well, the beings that doesn't live as long as they would. And yeah, that's usually, if they are in a really good mood, they would just try to help the travelers, especially adventurers, to achieve greater goods. And yeah, so Frederick just hands you back the pendant and just says, yeah, just take care of that. That is a rare gift.
Yeah, definitely. I sure didn't see that coming.
Okay. Neither did I. Huh. But yeah, that's probably about it. Oh, another thing. I don't know what's your beef with Vor, the guy, but he is the top artificer, either in the Academy of Arcadia or in the entire city. So it's best not to, make an enemy out of him. He can be annoying, I know. Usually masters with arcane arts do that way. They kind of present themselves in a way they think they're funny and probably harmless jokes, but they didn't really mean any harm. But if you get on their evil side, I mean, Yeah.
When
the-
he
the
says
bad side.
vor, I'm still sleeping, mind you,
Yeah.
but like the light seems to kind of drain from my corner of the room slightly because I'm on this bed,
Okay. Yeah. So
but
yeah.
I'm still asleep, mind you.
Yeah. The shadow kind of coalesced a little bit more. All right.
I think it's mostly Viking who has the beef, honestly.
What did he really did to you? I'm just wondering. What did he actually do to you guys?
I don't even think I was actually there when
No, he gave
Mark did.
like Keen and I a good scare, but that was about it. It's Nine who has the biggest troubles, and Nine is our friend. I trust his opinion more than I trust Wolf's.
Okay. Frederick thinks for a second, and then continues saying, "Well, I certainly heard rumors about the phrase etherborn, where he mentioned. So that's what your friends are, and etherborn. Okay.
Yeah.
So, uh, well, I wouldn't say it's a good behavior. As a matter of fact, it's kind of a nasty experiment that would, for those who wish to wield the power of ether and channel into their form. That is, I'm not mage or like arcane practitioners, mind you. I just know a lot of information, so I don't know the precise details, but I did hear rumors about etherborns, and apparently they didn't last that long. They were sort of like a failed experiment by the artificers, which were already forbidden for practice. If what you claim is true, then yeah, it's. But from Vor, a well-known and well-admired artificer, I don't know. The information might do some more damage than good. I don't know. It's up to you guys. I'm just a dealer in information. I don't judge people. I don't, well, unless they cross me, but I don't judge people. I just provided what I have. Provided to you.
And it's been good so far, and I've been grateful for it.
Just
There's going to be a day where you're going to have to get off the fence, though. You're going to be killed on it.
yeah, just put in a few good words for me to Lavinia, alright? I mean, it's been a long time, and oh, speaking of which, how was she?
She was good.
Okay, that's what I like to hear.
She was.
Okay, what happened?
We're in a bad spot. She got hit by a Dracolich. We brought her here for assistance and haven't managed to secure it yet. She's in a safe place, but
Frederick.
we were on our way back to her when the fight broke out.
Okay.
Tally's getting stressed.
Uh-huh.
She's just like, time is short, and we're in deep.
I sort of tried to like put a comforting hand on her shoulder to try and settle her.
Frederick kind of eyes widened when you mentioned a Dracolich, and he was about to say something, and then you kind of said that about she's currently in the keep, and Frederick just kind of looks. Oh, sorry. Alright.
Robin Rage.
There you go.
Yeah, weird. Temporarily, this like internet unstable. So yeah. So Frederick just kind of looks widened eyes when you mentioned the Dracolich, and he was about to ask you if she recovered from it, but then after hearing your description, he just kind of lumps into the bed, just kind of lies there and sighs. It's like, she always has to do it. She just cannot help herself, could she? She just, oh, woman! And you see Frederick's face just turn. It's a mixed expression of pride, but also like seriously concerned for someone who you loved. Yeah. And
I mentioned that. So yeah, we're kind of on a bit of a time sensitive quest right now.
Alright. Then, shit. If you told me earlier, then probably I would.
I mean, I expected to die earlier. It really was not. It didn't seem important.
Alright, have you... Was she diagnosed? Did anyone take a good look at her and tell you how much time we still have?
Point at remaining.
Well, Nine and I went to that. Where was it? Nine and I went to again?
Oh, the Academy, Arcadia. So
Yeah.
you went to the Wizards
Yeah.
Center, yeah.
Well, I just sort of tell him how we both sort of went to the academy. We found one of the more knowledgeable apprentices.
Yeah.
A bit about what was
So you... Yeah, you met the wizard named Gus, the half-elf wizard.
and yeah, I sort of tell like I tell him how he gave us like
A potion?
like a potion that would help that would sort of help with the stabilization to buy us more time, and I also sort of take out like that sample
Okay. So
one that has the sample, doesn't it?
the probe, it's just a sample with a drop of blood that's been siphoned from Lavinia. So if Gus could check, if Gus has the opportunity to check it, he might be able to determine what it is. That's what you were told before. So you
Yeah.
shared
So just saying that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, basically saying like so yeah, if I could just find a way to get back to Gus as soon as I can, possible he might be able to figure out a way to do something about what's Lydia's predicament.
Okay.
But we're also like going to try and like attend the that formal event that's happening soon, in order to try and to meet this really powerful cleric that might also be able to help.
Okay. All right.
I think if Gus falls through.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So you were told by the master's apprentice, Gus, that he can take a look at it, which is nice. And then you were talking about the banquet, probably. You mentioned a cleric that could help you. Well, okay. The only powerful cleric will be Bishop. Okay. That is good. that is good. That means there is hope. So the potion, how much time does it provide? Did Gus told you about it? Yes? No? Maybe?
I not specific, but
He did say a couple of days, if you're like wondering.
oh yeah, I think like a couple days, give or take.
Okay. All right.
But then we stopped at a bar to have something to drink, and then we ran to you, and then
Yeah.
that stuff happened with the guards and the shadow people, and
I mean, it's my
We're
fault. I
here.
probably shouldn't have dragged us into the bar. I knew something was up, but oh man.
Yeah.
well, that happened.
Okay. Well, if we don't deal with your situation, and Frederick points at you, Tolly, and just continues and says,
Yeah. If it's
"There
safer,
will
you guys
be
go on."
More shadow warriors that follows suit, which, well, the only place they wouldn't check is the sewer, like I told you guys before. The only place, shit, and he just kind of rubbed his temple and just
It's
suddenly
fine.
thinks of
I'll
something.
stay here.
Yeah, and then just like, all right, now we have 3 options. Want to hear them? Yeah, so in order to save Lavinia in time, first one will be going back the entrance where we came from, and pray that the automatons are not there, and get back to wherever you hold up in time. Grab Lavinia and just go to the banquet, which, judging by your time, will be well, current time is probably he looks down on some kind of stuff on his, well, on his pocket. He reached out into and retrieve a pocket watch and just looks down at it. Alright, so the sewer is hard to tell, but judging by the time, we are currently at 1 a.m. and if we sleep through the night, we'll be able to get to the banquet. The banquet happens today at 10 p.m., which means we still have some time to get there. So that's option 1. Go through the entrance where we came from. Option 2. We ask the deep gnome you guys just pissed, have him teleported us to the banquet directly. Which is just an option over there.
Yes.
I know he's totally capable of doing that, but whether or not he's willing to is another question. That's option 2. Option 3. We go through the other side of the sewer, and there's a direct path leading directly into the castle, which I would say tons of traps, tons of, well, monsters, and possibly going through the League's territory. Well, the League of Ferocious, like I told you guys before. Yeah, and Madam Venom wouldn't love that. I mean, bitch can hold grudges. Just saying. So there's 3 options for you. I wouldn't recommend the first or the third. I would say I would recommend to ask the deep gnome for help.
Agreed.
Well, I guess if we try to ask for help, it's probably the 2 of us are gonna have to do the talking then.
I know exactly what to offer him, and you're not going to like it.
Yeah, and well, it's up to you guys. I mean, like I said, there's always options, and I couldn't exactly leave you, girl, behind. So
I'd much rather
Lavinia will
you
kill
guys
me.
get live, and
Yeah.
but she'll die if we don't. Like, I will just
Yeah.
bring more hell upon us.
Yeah.
Better she lives and is angry than dies.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Let's just rest for the evening, and we'll talk to your friend here tomorrow about this. See what he thinks about it. Well, we can make our decision, judging by that. All right. Cool. All right. And you see
I guess so.
Frederick just. Sorry. Go ahead.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. You see Frederick just curls up into a ball, just like squirm into the bed. It's just like, okay, time to sleep. All right. I'll have to take a break, about 5 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes actually. I'll be right back for you guys. Sorry, I need to wash my face and yeah, runny nose, everything.
I'm actually going to get some water as well. I'll be right back.
All right. Sorry about that. We're back. All right. So,
Yeah.
you guys. Well, Tolly, you are still on watch, right? You're still.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for Rainy, you sleep through a wonderful night. That's been way too long. You're way too exhausted. So yeah, you just goes up into bed and just falls fast asleep. Go ahead. What would you like to
Did my sort of shadow staff change back into bright eyes after the last battle, actually?
Well, it's still in your palm, but are you calling it to turn back?
I kind of assumed that once we were in a safe place, I would I would try and see if I could call it to turn back.
Okay, so you will it to the staff, and like you normally would with Bright Eyes, and Bright Eyes just kind of respond, and by saying, okay, and just switch back into its figurine form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it just kind of sits on your palm right now. Just yeah. Okay, so that will be it. Anything else you want to do before you go to sleep?
I was just wondering what the sort of whole deal with that was, but yeah, I do go to sleep now. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you might search that in the morning. I don't know. You might find what it is all about in the morning. For Tully, roll me perception checks. Well, 2 times. You're taking the
You could
first
wake
shift,
me.
right?
You would know that as well, right?
Alright.
For a shift.
It's okay. Like I've taken like no damage and I'm paranoid.
Okay. So yeah, you watch through the first hour. Besides on occasionally footstep sound, you don't hear a thing. For the first time, you were a little bit too tired, too wrapped up in the stories Frederick just shared. So yeah, second time, you heard someone from afar, kind of just probably yelling something about pillows. You're not entirely sure what is happening, but apparently someone is not pleasant with his state, which sounds awfully like Vor. I mean, yeah. Well, you heard yellings and stuff. That's it. So,
Yeah. No, I laughed to myself, and I'm just like, I'm not crossing justice tonight. I'm not doing it.
yeah. So for Viking. All right. So did you guys make shift order? So Tolly took the first 2 watches, and then
I'll let him have his full sleep, and then I'll.
Okay, yeah. If that's the case, Viking, while you are asleep, you had yet another dream. This time is different. Unlike the gloomy and terrible dreams before, you don't know what happened, but something changed. You dreamed of your mother, the woman with jovial smile and untamed nature that would always make you laugh. You dreamed about you guys enjoying a nice meal, like around the small wooden farmhouse you guys once lived in. You also see that you like before, it was always 2, just table for 2, just you and your mother. But this time, there is a third figure sits across the side of the table, across the side of you. The sun raising through the window kind of blocks your sight, making it hard to see the actual details of the person, of his face. But you can see your mother laughing and cooking meals and kissing with the man that's sitting across you. Everything seems really nice, and you can smell the eggs that were finely cooked, the meals that were delivered that was just as you remembered what she used to make. And yeah, until all the dream continues until like Tali kind of wakes you up.
What's wrong?
Your watch. It's okay. It's
Oh.
pretty quiet. The biggest drama has been Vor whinging about pillows.
Yeah, greedy bastard.
For Tali, for a brief moment when you wake Viking up, you don't know if it's you're hallucinating or do you actually see him smile like when he's sleeping. But yeah, You haven't seen him smile for a really long time. Like the ones that comes from within, a genuine smile. But yeah.
All right.
I didn't mention it, but I'm glad about it.
Mhm.
I shake off the grogginess and I'm like, okay, it's your turn to sleep now. I'll try not to kill anybody without you.
Thank you.
No.
I'm not saying I won't do it.
You heard Frederick from the bed, just kind of talks in his sleep. It's like, no, killing. Yeah. That's all he said.
You must be dreaming too.
Must be. Alright, so, Viking, roll me a third perception and a final perception check.
It's a 9. I have
Alright.
advantage.
You're so wrapped around the dream you just had, and you're so, like, deep in thoughts that you didn't even notice the surroundings until another footstep coming straight ahead at the door at the hall towards you. Before you could notice before you turned around, you saw a man just standing right in front of your doorstep, right in front of your room, and then just says, all right, time for you to wake up, and let's just the master doesn't want you to stay here for really long. A deal's a deal. You're allowed to stay here for the night. You stayed here for the night, just as we agreed.
It's hard to tell it's night here.
Yeah, well, the underground can do that to you. All right.
Yeah, give me a few minutes. I'll raise my companions here, and we'll pack our things and get out of here.
Okay. All right. And he turns around and just walks out. All right. So you all have a full long rest. All of your conditions are removed, if you had any, and you're back to full health.
Oh yeah, my strength went down. Is that permanent or not?
No. After the
Sweet.
long rest, you just recovered. Alright. So, what would you guys like to do at this moment?
Yeah, once we sort of get up, I sleep for our conversation with Frederick. I kind of sort of want to sort of bring him up to speed with what we had talked about as regards to our options.
Okay, so you gather around with Viking this time, and Riveni just starting to share what you guys discussed last night. Alright. What do you...
I sort of try and cautiously mention that there may be a way for us to get to the ball.
Nothing's coming out. If you're still talking.
Yeah, the voice got cut off, maybe. Yeah, you might want to, like, disconnect and then refresh on Discord.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. No, it's better.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
So Frederick said there may be a way to get us to where the banquet is as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Okay.
The thing is, may not involve convincing Vor to help with that.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Frederick,
Nope.
yeah, so after hearing this, Viking's head just shook like, nope, 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 nope. Nope.
Last time, like, we weren't even asking for his help, and he basically branded us, Tully and I, and I'm like, nope, nope. Now we're asking, what's he gonna want? Like your firstborn? Like
We
my
have
hand? Like what the
one
hell?
thing to negotiate with, and that's our leverage over 9. We can
I
tell
still
him
wanna
we'll
kill
convince
him.
9 he's dead. Yeah, we can tell him that you killed him, and that 9 no longer has to worry about him. That, I think, will work. It's terrible, and I don't want to do that to 9, but I don't want Lavinia to die more.
I'm sure 9 would want proof. I should maybe take his head.
Without his head, he cannot cast.
Hand?
That's, well,
Maybe. I look at the
Just
others.
like-
I don't know.
Frederick's just like, I don't know about spell
I'm like,
casting.
I'm raging, like trying to negotiate here. So, I'm throwing things out there.
So Frederick turned to you, Ravenia, and just like, so, can a person cast without their hand? I don't know. Can they? This is a genuine question. Like,
That depends. Does the spell need? If your spell needs like somatic components, then you kind of need your hands to do that.
there you have it. Frederick just looks at Viking and says, so no, we don't take his hand.
I mean, also,
Look.
if anyone else has any better suggestions, please. I'd really like to not
Look.
screw my friend over, but that's all I have.
I know you don't like Vor, but I don't know. I just started my frustration before
Okay.
sitting back down on the bed.
Okay.
I mean, he knows
Let
him
me
well,
let me
right?
pose it this way. If you are currently being hunted down like an animal, and then someone comes along branding you with a locating spell, how are you gonna feel? Like, how would you react?
I literally have shadows honing in on me right now. It sucks.
I know, and this is what I've been dealing with for most of my life. I don't like it at all.
Well, he did say that was a joke. Frederick just kind of looks at you and says, let
As far as
bygones
I'm
be
concerned,
bygones? I don't know.
How do I know that it was a joke? And as far as I'm concerned, what he could have said, "Oh yeah, that fireball was just a joke, but haha, it just singed your eyebrows off."
Well,
Yeah,
true.
hindsight is 2020. But at the end of the day, joke or not, it still left a bad taste in my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Frederick just kind of nods and says, yeah, you got a point. Well,
I understand the need, Tully, to, get back as fast as possible, but are we really willing to risk all of our lives on top of your sister's life? Sister, right?
no.
Not sister,
Mentor.
Like,
Yeah.
mother figure. Yeah.
mother figure. Her life for if we get screwed over again. How do we know
That's-
that we're not gonna, end up, thrown in the plains of hell?
That's true. He could drop us anywhere. We'd have
Yeah.
to trust him. And yeah, we don't. So
Well, if you're worried of
the main
being
exit
dropped,
then?
somewhere, I mean, can we just have a bargain? Do you guys have something he wants? Bridget just kind of asks. I mean, I don't know. Artificer like them always want something, kind of exotic and weird, and something they've never seen before, so they can study on it.
Oh no.
But-
Do you guys have something like that? I mean,
I'm fishing my pockets now, and I'm just putting like rocks down.
My problem though is he has proven nothing but being distrustful. He's already lied to us, which has already been proven by, oh yeah, it was, even if it wasn't a locating spell, it was a joke, haha. Just no. That's my opinion on that.
Okay. Well, I'm just offering suggestion. You're the guys making the decisions.
I pull out the Orb of Defiance. I put the Orb of Defiance down. I pull out Callista's weird magic gem. I put that down. I'm like, maybe he'd be interested in one of these. I have no use for them.
We are currently in the stronghold of I'm trying to remember the name of the gang. Ferocious?
The Jester spawns.
Yeah. So the jesters, you can't tell me they don't have access to the different parts of the city.
Well, Frederick is kind of.
I'd sooner pay the jesters for safe passage through the sewers or whatever they have than to deal with. At least we haven't been screwed by the jesters.
I mean, Frederick just kind of speaks up at this point. Is it like, I mean, I could talk to the jester himself. However, he would want something in return as well. In our line of work, nothing is for free. I mean...
And as far as I'm concerned, if he wants to open up that dialogue, I have no problem helping out these guys. Because they seem like at least they will have our backs if we need it.
I mean, what's one more debt for me to fill?
But we've heard nothing but good things about the jesters. I don't know if you guys were there, if Commander Lux told me this or not, but generally the jesters are their people are like the street performers of Lux, and they're generally nice, so they have eyes and ears everywhere, right?
True. That is what.
And they don't like the Lux lifestyle, so I already like them.
Well, when you put it that way, it would be nice to have those people on our side, I guess.
We've already pissed off the Iron Forge. The only thing left is the League.
Well, that's the thing. Frederick just says, let's just say if we don't acquire any of their helps, we just go our ways and just go directly by ourselves. We will end up eventually going through the League's territory, and they already resent the people who lives above in the city. Imagine how welcoming they will feel when we trespass their territory. Yeah. Frederick says, I know the route per se, but even I don't know what kind of danger resides in there. So
we're not from Lux. Do we look like we're from... I'm like pointing at myself. Do I look like I'm from Lux?
No,
I stand out like a sore thumb on the surface.
Unfortunately for you, I look very much from here.
I'm like...
that are,
oh, fuck.
yeah, that are... I mean, when they were like I said before, where they were the monstrosities that were left behind, and like the monstrosity spawns that were left behind. So when Lux built the city, it's basically they built on the remains of their ancestors, sort of, which
And then
caused them to hate anyone coming from above, whether or not you're from Lux or not. You know what? Just imagine them as a crazy bunch of people who would fight to the death if they felt slightly threatened. That just I'm just
So,
saying that if you want to go that
uh,
direction, I will go there. I mean, my priority will be on how to help Lavinia to get back on her feet.
why don't we take our chances with the main exit? I'll draw off any automatons and shadows that are there. You guys will have a straight shot home.
if we ended up in the League territory, is there we could do to convince them to let us through unmolested, or
You mean the League? Well, people always sneak by them instead of talk to them, because normally when they see people, they would just jump at the opportunity to attack. Well, I'm not saying we did it right. It's more like they were forced to defend themselves whenever they have the chance, because the battle's been on for a long time. So we could try to talk to them. There is always that option. But I would just say the chances of us succeed are slim. And we probably have to offer something to them as well. Like I said, again, nothing in here is free. There's always a quid pro quo kind of situation going on. Well, like I said, it's up to you. Whatever you guys decided, I will follow, even if that means it ends my life.
No, that
Let's
won't
try
happen.
to avoid that.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can tell Frederick is a little bit.
That'll be like Plan B.
Yeah, you can tell Frederick is a
If
little bit
that ain't it.
edgy at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, Team Rogue Edgelord.
Yeah. And yeah, he's a little bit
We'll tell you.
jumpy at this point. Go ahead.
It's your city.
I'm happy to go out the main entrance and take our chances with the automatons. I draw them off, and you guys can get home safely. I don't like negotiating with Vor, but that's okay. I trust the jesters to escort us. I am happy to do whatever. I think going out the main entrance is the course of least debt, but
Yeah, like I said, Lavinia wouldn't want that, and she would have my head if you're dead.
no.
And
But she's not here, is she? And she doesn't have to know. She she raised me. She knows what I'm like.
All right. Sure. Well, I trust your judgment, so.
So, what's the final decision? I'm asking as a DM, not Frederick. It's up
no,
to you
and
guys.
I'm just
like I
like,
said, it's up to you guys.
this is no good. This is no good solid.
Well, and there's no is there any guarantee that if we just go out the front door that the shadows are still going to be there?
No, it's a gamble.
You know,
It's a huge gamble. Frederick just asked. It's been 8 hours or more, and
it's one of those things that they would have probably been spotted by now, and the town guard would have, rallied up and probably more died. But, someone would have done something, like they wouldn't have just stood around.
No.
I say
Well,
let's
if the town
risk going out
guard
the
got
front
that
door.
place surrounded. Frederick kind of adds, "Do keep in mind I'm still wanted for treason."
Yeah, we're fast, we're stealthy, we'll make it out.
Well, if you have ever met the Bastions, you wouldn't say that. There's a
Frederick.
reason they're called the Bastions. There's a reason they are the army. Well, if you
could hop in-
wish to go that way, I'll go. Like I said,
You could
I'll follow it.
you
to
could
the
always
end.
hop into my bag of holding. I'm sure you'd be safe in there from prying eyes. I kind of giggle under my breath when I say that.
Yeah. Frederick kind of glanced at you and just says,
It might smell in there with all the fish, but
if you always treated people with that manner, I can.
I'm a problem solver. You need to realize
I can
this.
somehow see why Vor is like trying to make jokes on you. I'm not saying I understand I'm not saying I forgive his behavior or whatever, but I do understand why. Yeah, because Bridget is
Yeah,
kind of-
like
Frederick, listen,
Yeah.
right? Okay, you don't have to come out with
kind of
outlets at
an
the front door.
acquired taste.
Vor has no beef with you. You negotiate with him, get him to teleport you, we'll meet you there.
Yeah, but what if you guys died in midway? I mean, like I said, I could always go by
The guards-
myself, but how would
They're not
I?
looking for us, they're looking for you. The shadows are looking for me. Raveni and Vikine are currently clean.
Yeah. So you want to part ways? I mean, that's a risky choice, girl. All right.
I'm trying to think of anything that I have that could maybe help disguise him. I'm like, do we have anything to make, I don't know, make him look better? Or
What do you mean look
hide 'em.
better? I already looked dashing.
you smell like a sewer.
Yeah, Frederick just kind of giggles himself. It's like, no, don't worry about it. Disguise tools. Yeah, I do have those, but anything magical will be spotted by the Bastions. The Arcadia developed. Oh, words of advice. If you ever travel through the city in magical items to disguise yourself, don't. I mean, the Arcadia invented a way to spot people with magical disguise. If you want to disguise yourself, use the toolkits. Use your skills. Go with the traditional way. Yeah. Fridge is just kind of sharing his experience.
That's
with you.
awfully
Yeah.
presumptuous of them, because, like, what happens if you were, horribly scarred as a child?
Yeah.
Some people magically disguise themselves for a reason.
Well, more magically disguised, like me. And Frederick kind of he like kick off his boots and kind of show you guys. So, you notice that one side of his leg is missing 4 of its toes. It's like, that's the results of me trying to, pass through the guards. And yeah, their annoying statue kind of caught me, bits off my toes, and yeah, chased me off into the distance.
My
What's the
insight check
insight for? Yeah.
is, I'm like, this may sound weird, But if you cut off that last toe, I think you might be able to save some money on shoes. And like, I have a
Frederick
very
is
straight
kind of
face
like
when I say that.
growls. Because Tully, when you heard Frederick share the story before, you notice that it's like a thief's greatest like lessons he ever learned, and he's trying to share that with you in a kind of warning gesture, and he Viking kind of pissed on that. Yeah, so you can see Frederick is kind of pissed at this point.
Yeah, but I was being honest about it.
Yeah,
Like
he
I'm
put
not
his
joking or anything. I'm like, you might be able to save some money on new shoes.
Frederick just kind of puts his foot back into the boots, and just like, all right.
I pipe up and say, I think we're getting a little off track now, but
Yeah. So
I'm like, why was his toenails painted?
oh my god. All right. Frederick's just kinda,
if you think going through the main entrance or whatever is the best bet, then I'll trust you on that.
Have I ever led you wrong, Ravani?
I wasn't talking to you, Viking, but
I kind of like that.
I still want to say it.
Yeah.
Have I ever led you wrong?
I'll get back to you on that.
so many times. So many times. All right.
I just need you to promise me one thing. And I'm sort of like I'm sort of like grabbing like Tally by the shoulders as I sort of say this.
And he goes silent.
If you if you follow through with your
Whoops.
automatons or the shadows or
the voice.
You're stuttering in.
Yeah.
Sorry, dear.
Cutting on
again,
probably like disconnect.
We're getting maybe every third word.
Yeah.
hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, if you decide to try and draw the automatons or shells or whatever to you and away from us, need you to promise me that you'll find a way to come back to us in one piece, okay?
Always.
I look to Ravani and I'm like, I think it might be more prudent to, if Tully was to have the Eye of Primordial. Because generally you're either with her or you're with me. But I tend to get separated from at least Tully more often than you guys. Would it not be prudent to... Because that lets us talk and see each other. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
That'd
you have
be
to
great.
hold the bell to do that. So that means you can't
That's
hold
fine.
one hand. You can't hold anything. If you are holding a shield and a sword, that means you have to give up one hand to.
Yeah, but like if we make it back or she doesn't make it back, we'll be able to communicate, right? It's not
Yeah.
for combat.
It's for me running full tilt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
So I look to Ravani. It's up to you.
that's actually not a bad idea.
Okay.
I do have the still have my Eye of Primordial in my inventory.
I tend to go wandering off more than you do, is what I'm thinking. You tend to stick with Tully when we go on adventures, and I tend to wander off. So I should keep mine, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm sure we can get it back after, but Tully needs to.
Tell you what, then that gives me motivation to stay intact so I can give it back to you. How's that?
I'll give my Eye of Prenor to her then.
Okay.
I'll tie it on my belt.
Okay. So Tully takes over the Eye of Primordial and gingerly ties it on her belt. Alright. Frederick just kind of looks at you guys a little bit anxious, but more you see him kind of getting ready for the disguise. He put down a set of kits lying on the bed. You can see powder. You can see just general makeup stuff that would
Brilliant.
gather around. Yeah, and he's starting to make himself look like a middle-aged halfling.
I'm gonna give him a
female
hand.
halfling. You
Yeah,
see him-
yeah. I was gonna say I was gonna do his
Yeah.
makeup and do his hair.
Yeah,
I'll give him
you
a hand
see
because
him
I am
put-
also proficient with disguise.
Yeah. So he's gonna roll for disguise. You are helping him, right? So
Yup.
with advantage. Oh, that's nice. That's much better.
He
Alright.
doesn't. I'm like, I comment. I'm like, you don't need to look like anyone. Remember, this city is full of performers and stuff. You could just paint yourself as one of the jester crew, and I'm sure you would pass by the guards.
The jesters hold up here for a reason, you know.
I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah,
Oh.
and I'm just saying the jesters hold up here for a reason. So
Besides, I think we did a pretty good job. But yeah, a performer's makeup would be the second best. I know this makeup better than I do others.
all right.
make him into a clown.
Whew. Yeah. We already have one in the team. We don't need a second one. Yeah, Frederick just kind of giggles. And then, yeah.
I'm like, and who said you were part of the team there, sir?
Mm.
And burn. No.
Burn. Alright, so. You guys kind of getting ready. So everything ready? Equipments, all the stuff getting ready? Okay. So you walk out of the room. You see Jester still sitting on the same spot the night you went in. Same spot, never. It's as if he never left the seat. It just wanders in like lost in thought kind of way. He kind of lifts his head. His mask glister in the light, in the low light of the torches that reflects by the wall, and just looks at you and says, "Oh, good. I see you now ready." Well then.
I sort of greeted with a super friendly "Good morning." Did you?
Back at you, and it'll be even better if you guys, honor your deal and be on your ways.
We are. Thank you for your hospitality. We appreciate it.
The next time, it's gonna charge something. But
I sort of
Expect
do.
less.
I do like a sort of respectful bow towards Jester as well, and sort of say out as well, like, thank you for letting us pull up for the night. We really, really appreciate that.
Either way, yeah, sure, why not? Just remember, I don't know, go back out there and kick some guard's ass, will ya? He just said that in a really distant tone, he's like, okay. Either way, just go there, back out there. Alright, Frederick just kind of nods and says, alright, we're on our way, and, as always. Jester just kind of looks at Frederick and says, just remember that next time if you're trying to collect, we're even. I no longer owe you anything. And Frederick just kind of nods. And yeah, you guys are off to the entrance you guys once entered. So, you guys travel through the tunnel backwards is not that hard. You kind of travel through the back. You can still see the crumbled body of the mimic you just slaughtered. You kind of walked towards the entrance you guys came from. Frederick's is kind of along the way. Frederick's is kind of being really careful at the times at the times that we're checking, but the traps and everything else seems to be switched off. Do you guys still keep watch though? Yes or no?
Oh,
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
Perception check, everyone.
I just realized we're level 7 now, right?
Yeah.
I have a new thing called Aura of Hate,
Ooh.
which gives me my charisma modifier to any fiends and undead in my aura,
Ooh.
and myself, I believe, to my damage rolls.
Nice. Which is good.
12.
All right. So for Tolly and Vanny, you guys both spotted that same puddle of water was there, but now as you reach towards the entrance, you guys didn't see that at the same spot you guys found it. Rather, you found it near the entrance. Still same weird puddle of water. It looks even weirder because now currently the stream become really shallow, and it's quite obvious. However, it does occupies the space. So either you leap over it or step onto it. See what happens.
I sort of point out and say, like, weird puddle in front of the entrance yesterday.
All right.
Were the
So-
were-rat's body still there? Sorry.
Oh, the were-rats.
Are
don't
puddles
see
puddles supposed to change places like that?
So
I wouldn't have
first,
thought they would
for Vikings question, the were-rats' body are no longer there. In fact, nothing seems to show that there was a battle happened. You're pretty sure that your javelin fly through the air, hits the were-rat's head, and also scrape part of the wall. But when you look at it now, there's no sign of any damage to the wall. As for Rivani, are you asking everyone? Are you
Right.
asking everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think? For Tolly, you also notice the same thing as Rivani did.
Yeah, and I do not want to touch it.
Okay.
Sorry, what did you say again?
Me or Tolly?
No, Ravani. You
Oh.
said you mentioned it to the group.
Yeah, like I was sort of going like, wasn't that puddle in front of the entrance yesterday?
I
You're not
like,
supposed to move.
wasn't that where we just dispatched the were-rats? Like, I don't even see the dent where my spear
Javelin.
landed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This is a really weird place. Maybe it has something to do with the magic bullshit of this place. You know, yeah.
Yep. Always beautiful, even in the sewers.
Well, I heard rumors that they apply some sort of workers to clean the sewers down here.
That's
Fidget just
weird.
kind of looks kind of. He wasn't paying much attention to the surroundings, but to trying to pick up any sound before. Yeah. So when you guys mentioned that, he almost stepped onto it, but luckily you guys mentioned that in time, so he didn't. And right now he's inspecting the puddle of water and just says that, and continues saying, I wonder what if this might be the so-called worker down here.
The worker?
Yeah. I heard rumors about artificers applying some sort of help to clean up the sewers. You know. But I don't know. Maybe?
It's probably more
What?
manufactured slaves.
Well, you wouldn't call it slaves, but yeah, it's like magical creations that are. The workers might not be sentient though. They're just like, I don't know if you heard of the word drones. They just follow a routine, cleaning up the path, and that's it. At least that's what I heard. He looks at the puddle and the entrance you guys came down from. So there are stairs, well, more like a ladder going up from where you guys dropped yesterday. And he just kind of says, so I guess we can hop on to the ladder. I mean, if you want to avoid the water, the weird puddle of water.
May as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, everyone, roll me an acrobatics check.
Can I use my boots to fly and then like essentially form a bridge so everyone can just like step up?
Boots to fly up and to give everyone a boost?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. If that's the case, you can. However, if you are gonna be the anchor for them to, give them that advantage, you will have to anchor yourself somewhere above the puddle of water in order to, give them an aid. And you know
Will
what?
my boots hold steady?
Yeah, everyone. So Viking and Rivani, roll me an acrobatics check with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, about that.
Well,
Oh,
hello
that's
there.
not great.
All right.
Oh no.
So, Viking, roll me. No, sorry. Tolly, roll me a strength save. Okay, which is good. Let me check. Hold on. Viking, roll me a strength check. All right. So here's what happens. Rivani, going up the ladder is like easy for you. You don't know what boosts your confidence. Maybe the staff. Maybe Bright Eye is getting stronger because when you communicated with it this morning, it definitely gets stronger. We'll talk about what stats you get later on. But you feel confident. You feel nothing can stand in your way today. So you hop onto the ladder like it was nothing. You don't even need Tolly's aid. For Viking, you were full of trouble in your mind. Like the dream, the discussion whether or not to talk to Vor, and about how he wronged you, about how annoying the city is. So you didn't pay much attention. You leap in midair, grab onto Tolly's wrist, and your weight kind of just pulls you down. As a matter of fact, you are both you kind of fall, so you subconsciously just grab onto the nearest stuff, which is Tolly, which also drags her down. So you kind of landed into that puddle of water. I would like both of you to make a strength save at this moment. Alright. So Viking, you immediately know you made a mistake, so you kind of break through the water. The water seems deeper than you thought, but it turns out it's just a watery creature just kind of formed up, and to your horror, it kind of swallows up Tolly as a whole. So Tolly, you are now grappled, and you are now kind of sealed
Drowning.
inside a huge
Yay.
puddle of water.
Do I still have a hold of her? Since I basically pulled her down, right?
Yeah, you basically dragged her down, but because you were subconsciously trying to break free and trying to let her out, and you kind of lose your grip. I would say make another strength check to see if you grab hold of her.
23.
Okay. You did left your strong grip inside the puddle of water.
Okay.
All right, but that also means currently you're not holding any weapons because
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right, so the watery creature just swirls up. Ravani, you see encapsulated inside the water is Tolly, like trying to hold her breath, like. And I would like everyone to roll for initiative.
God damn it.
Yep. What a good way to start off a battle. Start off a morning by a battle. All right. Initiative order. All right.
I just look down at it and start to just go like, oh, for Pete's sake.
I just wanted to go for a swim, okay?
Yeah. Why?
As there's a turd floating beside your head.
Yeah.
It's just-
All right.
You have to resist the urge to vomit as you're in the water.
Oh crap. Water creature. Alright. It will be.
Don't forget the halfling.
Yeah. Frederick was not in the battle before, but now he is. Yeah. Okay. Not great, but acceptable. Alright, so the water creature, because it's you guys spotted it, it's not a surprise round. However, it does like kind of have Tolly right now currently. Alright, so Tolly, you take as you're inside the water, you can feel the water flow just currently strolling inside. You take 18 points of bludgeoning damage as the fist kind of just try to squeeze you and pummels you inside of it. And I would hold on, grapple, yeah, restrain. Okay. Alright, so yeah, no, it's fine. So that would be its turn. It is gonna.
That was 18 points of damage?
Yeah, 18 points of bludgeoning damage. Alright.
Ow.
That hurts like a motherfucker. Alright, second attack. It's gonna aim for the closest target, which will be Viking. Your AC is 20 at this. No, 19 at this point, right?
No. 19, yeah.
Okay. So, boop, giant puddle of water. Alright, so, as it turns out, the water creature, you were so close and your hand is still holding Tolly's hand. So, you kind of can't dodge this. So, the fist kind of slams into your chest, knocking you back 5 feet. Oh, sorry. No, not knocking you back. Roll me a strength save.
18.
All right, yeah. It doesn't like the fist like water construct kind of hits you in the chest, but it does nothing to push you back. However, you do still take 22 points of bludgeoning damage in the chest.
Yeah, I don't think that'll do anything to it. Never mind.
All right, that will be the end of its turn. Now will be Viking's turn. Go ahead.
I want to use my action to pull Tully out
All right.
of this water thing since I have a hold of her.
Roll me a strength check. All right.
12.
The water creature. Even with no, it's a strength save. Roll me a strength check.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Check.
Okay. All right.
If I'm not grappling it. I'm just trying to pull it.
Yeah,
Right?
I know.
So
It's still not enough. You feel
Okay.
that all your might. It's gonna like push it further, and you can almost feel half of Tully's body is gonna get pulled out. However, the water kind of like slams you in the side, and though it doesn't do any damage, but it does cause you to lose a little bit of focus, and you kind of back into struggle with the water creature. So yeah.
that was my action, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can still use your bonus action if you like to.
I don't think I can grapple water, so I'm good.
Okay. Alright, so that will be the end of your turn. Okay. That will be Frederick's turn. Frederick is gonna... He's gonna look down at his whip. Look up at the water creature, and... He's like... Oh... You go loud. And he's gonna pull out a small vial. Well, it's gonna do... He's like... Alright. Let's see if this works. And he drops the vial. He tossed the vial towards the water creature. Okay. The AC. Alright. So as the vial kind of hits you, for Rainy, you can still see that the vial is twinkling in like bluish like crust of dust or something, and it kind of shines in the tunnels like well, hold on, there's no... Well, Frederick definitely carries a torch. So yeah, it kind of shines in the reflection of the torch. It gives you a sense of chilliness by just sheerly looking at it. So the vial kind of hits the water creature, and it kind of... You heard a kind of crystalline sound, and like as part of its body, about a third, it's like currently frozen into a chunk of ice. Frederick is like, yes! And he will use his bonus action to, like, sorry, Tali, you're now in here. To front. Okay, you're now here.
I'll say that. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, great roll, Frederick.
Dodge back to the crater. Yeah, it's like, yeah. Cool. Alright, so, sorry, Rainy. You are at the top of the ladder. You actually have a nice grip of the ladder, in fact. I'm just gonna move this a little bit forward. Yeah. You actually have a really nice grip of the ladder at this point. What would you like to do? It's Tali's turn. My bad. Tali, what would you like to do? You are now sealed up inside a water creature.
Am I frozen in the ice as well? Or
No. The part of the body that was frozen, it's not covered you up yet.
Excellent. Can I brace myself against the ice and like a swimmer, just like punch off of it?
All right.
So not like hit it, but use my legs and just try and launch out of it.
I am still holding on to your arm.
You can let go of Viking's arm if you want to. It's up to you.
No, I'm hanging on to that. But if I can use those and like
Oh, as
leave
an
it myself
anchor
out.
too. All right. Roll me a strength check with advantage. You gotta love that advantage because that is
Nice.
something you desperately need. So as you using Viking's hand as an anchor, you punch through the water creature's stomach and kind of find yourself landed in a smaller stream of water, which you now feel much better. All right. So that would also be the end of your turn
That's
because
probably-
you
Yeah,
use your
I'm
movement.
just gonna
your
lie down
action.
and cough up a lot of water.
Yeah. Well, you didn't suffer long enough to be drowned, so there won't be a lot of water. However, you do cough a little bit because it's like underwater, unexpected. That'll be the end of your turn. Now it'll be Raveni's turn. Raveni, you're up the stairs looking, well, kind of glad that your friend is now out of the water creature. What would you like to do?
I kind of want to make a check to try and to sort of figure out what
All right.
kind of
creature
water
it is.
creature this is.
Okay, go ahead. Roll me an Arcana check. All right. Kadan was never really good at, summoning. So it's a little bit hard to tell because you basically know what Kadan knows. Well, a large proportion of your knowledge is coming from Kadan. You do, however, read something in the library once. Something like elementals. Like those creatures, they take various shape and forms. But yeah, that's about as far of the knowledge as you can gather at this point. Yeah.
Right.
That's it. So, what would you like to do? Totally out of water. Alright, cool.
I want to see actually if my suggestions might work on the water creature actually.
Okay. Do it. I actually need to check. Huh.
Percent sure of that.
Can you link your spell?
Let's see. Suggestion. You know what? Don't worry about it. I got it. Hold on. Let me just pull it out. Weird.
Yeah, but you should have it in your spell book.
Yeah. Raveni.
Yeah.
Don't. It's okay. You can just click on the spell book. So, click.
Well, the only.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Because I need to see a little bit of stuff. So, we just okay. All right. Oh. Interesting. So you know that the basic knowledge of the elementals. So they don't. Not all of them speaks our language. So from your judgment, this may not work. May or may not. It's up to you.
I was kind of just thinking of whether or not there's some sort of way to sort of bend this thing as well as as a spellcaster to at the least make it non-hostile.
It already just tried to eat somebody. It's hostile. And as far as I'm concerned, the thing has to die.
Damn it. Alright. Oh, that's a shame. Forget that then. I'm just gonna throw a lightning bolt at it.
Go ahead. All
I
right.
also
And
linked a
it
better
needs to make-
picture in Discord of what this creature looks like.
All right.
Dex save.
So dex save. What's your spell save DC?
That's
Say-
I haven't broken out the magic staff yet, so it's 15.
Okay. Yeah, so you're not holding it, so right now it's 15. Alright, so you think it's probably because you're aiming from up the stairs, so your aim is a little bit off. The water creature kind of just make a hole for the lightning to pass through. Hold on, lightning bolts. You're aiming downwards, right? Not aiming towards your friends because it's like 100 feet,
Well,
like straight line. If you're aiming at this direction, directly, it might hit your friends. If you're aiming
Flat me up.
downwards, then it's different.
downwards.
Definitely
Definitely downwards.
All right. So you aim downwards, trying your best to avoid hitting your friends. However, the creature is nimble. It's weird to say, but a water creature can be nimble. So it only takes half of the lightning damage. So 11, only 12 points. Alright. Alright. So I guess that'll be your action.
Alright.
Alright. That's cool. Now will be the water creature's action. Hold on. Okay. The water creature is gonna submerge into the water, into the small stream. So you see a large form just kind of splash into a giant puddle of water, moves quickly towards you, Viking, and like kind of swarms up trying to grab you. Nope. First attempt failed. Second attempt also failed. Alright, so as the water kind of swirls up, but your nimbleness and your shield kind of like breaks the form of the water bind, and you just kind of dodge out of the way. So that will be the end of the water creature's turn. It is gonna like reform right in front of you, so yeah.
okay.
What would you like to do? It's your turn now.
I'm gonna cast Protection from Good and Evil on myself.
Okay.
That's my action.
Okay. So against
And-
elemental? Okay.
Yeah. Pretty obvious. I don't think I need to make a check that this is elemental.
Yeah.
And that's my turn.
All right. That will be the end of your turn. Now it's Frederick's turn. Frederick is gonna pull out. Tolly, right now you're hiding side by side with Frederick. You can see the painfulness in his eyes as he's grabbing another vial. He's like, "This is all money. God damn it!" And he just tosses another vial at the water creature. And it hits. Alright, this time it hits the part that was before like breaking into a smaller chunks of ice. It kind of dissolves a gigantic hole inside of its form. Let's see. Oh, okay. So it takes not bad, Frederick. All right, so you see the hissing sound as he tosses yet another vial of potion or stuff, and it kind of just burns through the water creature's stomach. Yeah. From the smell and the the sizzling sound, you can tell it's somewhat of an acidic nature. So yeah, that'll be the end of Frederick's turn. He is gonna use his bonus action to hide again. This time behind another crate. Right.
With a light. He has a torch,
Yeah,
and
he
he's
dropped
hiding.
the torch.
Okay, I was gonna say
right
it's
now.
still funny.
Yeah, he dropped the torch right now. He also noticed that, oh shit, I didn't throw away my torch. What a rookie mistake. All right, now it'll be Tolly's turn. Tolly, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna get the hell up, and
Alright.
I'm gonna take a swing at the creature.
Go ahead. So you use half of your movement to stand up, and then just swing. All right, that is a hit. Roll for damage. All right. So the blade kind of, you kind of grab the handle and zoom. The shadowy gloom kind of forms again, and you just swing. With a kind of glass scratching sound, you manage to chop the water creature in half. However, unlike normal beings you cut down, it doesn't seem to die right away. Like, it takes severe amount of damage, but it's not dead yet. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna disengage and back up.
Alright, so you use your bonus action to disengage and just hide behind yet another crate. Alright, that'll be the end of your turn. Now it'll be Raveni's turn. Raveni, what would you like to do?
Okay.
So?
I'm actually just going to. I'm just gonna toss a first level magic missile spell at it.
Okay, go ahead. Roll for damage.
I sort of shout down.
Roll for
Like,
attack, sorry. Magic missile. Oh,
I
sorry.
sort of
Yeah.
I sort of shout it, saying like, "Don't you know? Don't you know it's rude to try and swallow people?"
Okay. Alright. All that missile kind of launches as you yell right in front of his face. It blows chunks and pieces off the creature. Okay. This is great. So, you all see that Raveni kind of points her finger directly towards the water creature, and the water creature just got slammed by multiple beams of pure arcane energy, sorry, and just like with a kind of waving movement, the water creature just splash into a puddle of water once again. But this time, it's no longer obvious. It just flows with the other stream and just flows away. You're out of the initiative order. Nicely done, guys. Alright, so the creature's now dead. However, Raveni, as you finish the spell, you do feel a sudden tingling sensation as you and all the others see that a long beard made of feathers that grows out of your cheeks.
Damn.
Yeah. Roll me a Constitution save.
Constitution save.
Alright. You kind of achoo! And then the feathers all exploded right in front of your face, like just it doesn't hurt, but it kind of blocks your sight, and I will need you to make me a strength save.
Oh,
I want to say to Ravani, I'm like, if you need me to help you learn how to shave, just let me know. And I see the beard of feathers.
Yeah, so even with your like sneezing time, you remember to hold on dearly to the ladder. So yeah, you didn't fall onto the ground. But yeah, it's kind of annoying and it's kind of currently blocking your sight. Yeah. Yeah, you can use a hand to like scrape them off, but yeah.
yeah, I sort of just like hang onto the ladder and I'm sort of using one hand to try and get off the feathers. Like, well, this is an annoying start to the day. Onto the other, I was like, are you guys okay? As I'm like trying to slap off feathers off of my face.
I'm just like, we're good, we're good. And I'm wringing out my hair and my cloak and.
Yeah. Alright, so you guys gathered once again, ready for your next part of the journey to determine whether or not the shadow creatures are still up there, the shadow warriors are still up there and preying on your arrival. Alright, we'll end our session today right here, and great job guys, nicely done. Alright.